Honesty, medicine for the soul. Honesty is a delicate subject for humanity as a whole. Most people, when asked if they consider themselves to be an honest person, would say that they were in general, and that is the challenge with the subject of honesty. As a culture, many of us were taught that it is weak and powerless to be wrong or caught in a lie or to be vulnerable. So many times we're not being fully honest with ourselves or others regarding the topic of honesty. Honesty has been taught by all the masters throughout the ages as being really powerful medicine for the soul. Jesus said, "Know the truth, for the truth shall set you free." In order to really find our power and to heal or to have healthy relationships, we must be honest with ourselves and others. We all know that in order to be a truly healthy, powerful person, we must be willing to be honest enough to admit it when we do make mistakes. This practice of self-honesty leads us to understand the amazing contradiction about honesty, that honest vulnerability is the access to true strength and power as a person. Self-honesty is the basic foundation of all self-mastery and enlightenment paths. One cannot truly find a limitation that they have and transcend it or grow beyond it if they will not be honest with themselves in the first place. Our ego is committed to keeping some things that we believe about ourselves in the closet. This effort at self-denial is one of the most sabotaging patterns that people have. If we will not admit that there is a limitation that needs exploring, how can we ever make progress on our evolutionary path? Some people even use so-called self-help teachings, such as positive thinking, to pretend and deny the limitations that exist in themselves. This is a temporary fix, and certainly works well if your goal is to make the ego feel good. However, it is like putting a Band-Aid over a very deep wound. Whatever we refuse to be honest about and become fully aware of has power over our life, and we cannot master it. Attempts to sugarcoat over a wounded part of our psyche with positive thinking is a type of karmic deferral program. The real challenge with that strategy is that whatever we put off for later grows until it becomes too big to deny anymore. Then a life crisis occurs. The very energy that we use to deny the resisted part of ourselves adds to the resistance, the denied pain, until we have a life crisis arise. People often get sick or have a divorce or some other shocking experience happen to them before they're ready for a real dose of self-honesty. Sometimes, when we have worked very hard for a long time to deny something that we resist experiencing, we have a shocking experience unleash itself as the buildup of pressure erupts like a volcano. For many, this can have the effect of creating a wake-up call, letting us know that more self-honesty is needed. Or for some people, they just work that much harder to deny the problem that they created in the first place. Why is it often very hard for us to be absolutely honest with ourselves and others? The shadow self, the wounded aspect of ourself with all of its fear and pain, is the cause of this denial of truth. Most people were not born to a family who was free of this shadow self, and therefore it is perpetuated from generation to generation as a type of mass social hypnotism. Few people have an effective strategy to effectively cope with these intense emotions stored in the body-mind. Many have tried existing strategies with little or no relief and feel discouraged or even bitter. So denial is their only way to manage the busy, busy mind and the seething cauldron of pain and fear within them. Others pretend that there's nothing wrong. They hold up a strong, positive self-image to the outside world as they suffer in secret inside themselves, accepting it as if it were normal. After all, they think to themselves, are not most people in some kind of stress or struggle situation frequently in their lives? The answer is yes, but there is a much more joyful, peaceful and powerful way to live. There is a way out of the trap of pain and fear that creates a circular pattern of deny, protect, defend, assert, pretend. The most effective strategy for healing and growth must include learning the ability to reconnect with a deep level of our being, the deep silent stillness of perfect intelligence within us. Our spirit, our true self, is beyond fear and pain and is always peaceful, content, and fulfilled. Masters, sages, and saints throughout time have instructed us to return to this source, the silent witness within us, as the way to heaven, nirvana, self-realization, whatever term you like to use for it. Developing the ability to contact the deep level of being every day through meditation is very powerful by itself. However, in order to expedite the inner healing process from maybe many years down to months, we must also develop some other skills. The ability to be present and live in the moment with sensory awareness. The ability to discover and effectively release limiting beliefs. The ability to intuitively connect with our heart's desires and effectively create the intentions to fulfill them. The ability to identify sabotaging identities and witness them, and to disassociate from them. There are other more advanced skills that one can develop that speed up the process also. Learning and developing these skills returns us back to living from our true self, the joyful, peaceful aspect of ourself that lives in the flow of life and meets any challenge with enthusiasm. It all begins with the willingness to be very honest with oneself. Just by having a willingness to do this, the process itself supports us in developing more self-trust. As self-trust grows, so does self-honesty. Simply have the intention to be more honest with yourself. There is real healing magic in the medicine of self-honesty. Take a moment to contemplate these ideas. How does being honest empower us? What hinders or prevents people from being honest? In what ways could being more honest in your own life be improved?